Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the show The Demon Girl Next Door. Yes, you know me, always bringing up them obscure titles. Now, I ended up watching this because it's getting its second season within the Spring 2022 season. As I think a lot of you know, you look at the content on my channel, I've often talked about seasonal anime. It's a big thing for me, right? I'm avoiding it winter. It's kind of just boring winter. Sorry for people who were looking forward to that, but I'll be back in the spring because there's a bunch of good shows, especially like second season stuff. And well, this is included. The second season will be coming out in spring 2022, and I saw it on the list. It kind of had like a whatever cover for its second season. I was like, you know what? Oh, let's check out the first entry, and I wasn't immediately like, oh, this is probably going to be a banger, certified hood classic. No, nothing like that. It was just like I guess, sure, why not? I can give it 2 episodes, let's give it a fair shake, right? And the show was fucking amazing. I really love the show. It immediately just skyrocketed into my top 20 easily. As this is generally a huge comedy. I'll have to go into the comedy elements, explain as best I can, but comedy is very subjective, so may have struggled with that. But this was one of the best comedies I have ever watched. Now, I guess I will get into the show premise for anyone who has not heard of the show. What generally the premise is, which it's going to do a lot of subverting in its form of comedy, so, it's going to just completely sidetrack from, even the general premise of it. But what you would probably read in a synopsis, and my probably terrible wording of it, would be that we have our main character, Shamiko, or Yuko. I'm going to just call her Shamiko because that's what I'm used to. So Shamiko pretty much has a demon ancestor come to her in her sleep, in her dreams, in that subconscious when you're sleeping, and be like, all right, you're getting demon powers. You're going to have to defeat a magical girl to be able to remove the curse from your family. The curse is pretty ridiculous. You may think, oh, what is this curse? They just have to suffer a low income. They can have a general net worth of something. They can have, medical insurance and stuff, but they can't have on hand more than, I think it was $440. I'm talking American bills, I guess. I think that's what it translated to, something like that. It was pretty much, they can't go all out at the grocery store. They have to shop smartly. They're put in that weird situation. It's kind of funny, but it does help set up our main character as an underdog and a lot more appreciable and lovable. But continuing with the synopsis, I guess. In the first episode, she meets the magical girl who is in that area, in the residence, and she's just powerful as hell, ridiculously powerful for just a high school girl, This is a parody, so it's going to make fun of the fact of the magical girl genre, especially since they put in magical girl elements into it. And don't know how I'm going to fight that. I have to apparently get their blood to remove the curse and stuff. Ugh. I don't know how that's about to happen. And more shenanigans ensue. A lot of crazy stuff happens. Things you would not expect. That's its type of comedy style that I would go for. You wouldn't expect the magical girl herself just be like, oh, I'll train you. I'll train you to beat me. I'll help you out. I'll give you that training. Sure, why not? I'll teach you how to do magic. And generally that's what happens. It's going to do a lot of subverting of expectations. And when you more come to realize it, and it's kind of shown way more clearly in the OP, that these supposed to be bitter ancestral rivalries of demon, magical girl, they're just friends. They're just chilling and vibing. They have a good time. And that's literally it. Now, I guess I should get into other elements of the show. First, I'll say, if you do not like the comedy in the show, you will just not like the show. I would say this has a extreme focus on its comedy elements. So if it does not hold you in with its comedy, I don't expect it to hold you in with anything else. As there are other elements. Again, I think the relationship between Shamiko and the magical girl. God, I'm forgetting her name. I forgot what it was. For the magical girl. I'm only going to refer to one. There's another one that pops up, but you don't need to know about that. Watch the show if you want to know about it. It's a good show. But the comedy of it is heavily reliant on it. And it has a, I would say, somewhat more witty style. I try to break up styles of comedy as best I can. There's very more like sexual, ecchi forms of comedy that you'll probably see in like Prison School. I'm not a fan of that comedy. I'm actually very against it. I'm not really for it in any form of like media that's professional. I joke like that with friends, but beyond friends, if I see anyone else make those jokes, I'm like, wow, you know, you have a whole team of writers and you come up with this. Man, my mate's making better jokes than that, honestly. I'm sorry, you know. So I'm not a fan of that humor. This show definitely doesn't really go into that realm. And like, it has like a teensy bit, but it tries to do it in its more witty style. And then there's like kind of just out of nowhere humor. And this show does seem very wacky, but it's very logical in its nature, surprisingly enough. There's a lot of attachment to the things that have already been set up. That has extremely weird world building, but it is congruent to the actual show. It establishes quickly off of what's been done. If they bring up something weird, it actually logically fits into what's happened. So I wouldn't say it is a form of just like wacky out of nowhere humor. I would say something like Jojo. When it does its humor moments, that's a pretty wacky out of nowhere stuff. Like, you know, Joseph pulling out a Tommy gun, right? You know, that's just out of nowhere. Why does that happen? No one can give you an answer. That's not my comedy style either. I really do like a witty style. I think, you know, one of the greatest examples of that is Kaguya-sama Loves War, that uses its comedy to also, you know, comment on some kind of like unspoken rules of, you know, our social interactions. Like one of the smart ones comes in manga, don't worry, it's not really a spoiler. But the like, when your friend has a breakup and he just ruins the mood for everyone else who's in love, so you want to help that guy get in a relationship and not have their heart broken, just so they don't ruin the mood with what you're trying to go for. You know, it makes that kind of like, well, yeah, that's actually kind of a thing, but you know, more drastic, more make it a comedic element. I think Love is War and this actually holds a pretty similar comedy style, and that's why I like both of them a whole goddamn lot. And for anyone who did watch it, Sleepy Princess of the Demon Castle, maybe even more obscure than this show that I'm talking about here, but I think that also holds in its same type of witty style of what it's going for. And I think more compares in its type of world building nature, where Kaguya-sama, well, it's just in high school, so it doesn't do crazy world building, it's more just character interaction. This kind of fits in a middle ground that, you know, has very wacky world building, but it does have really good character dynamics between Shamiko and the magical girl. So I honestly really enjoyed the show because of all of that. I'm sorry I can't give that great explanations onto the reason I love it, but I think, you know, it's just really funny. Sadly, comedy's very subjective. I think it's very hard to explain, especially off the tip of my tongue. So yeah, I guess I can bring up one joke that I thought was really funny, and it decided to, you know, show a little bit of the clips of it. Since it is a parody, it parodies on a lot of things. You know the trope. It's not really a trope, it's kind of specific. But, you know, you've seen characters, you know, take bread, definitely in the slice of life cutesy shows. And also in Evangelion, it had that one scene with... God, oh man, I'm terrible just with names. It starts with A. I remembered that at least. You know the one with the red suit, Now, yeah, you know, running with bread in their mouth, just like gets the toast, just runs, right? Common within anime. For some reason it's anime, and you know, sometimes they're just talk with people, and that doesn't make sense if you're biting onto something, you know, you can't talk, right? If I am, I don't know, I don't have anything to bite. I'm not going to do that as an example. But you know, you can't talk when you're biting down to something, and it kind of makes it funny, and it quickly passes by this joke. But there's one of the characters, the ancestor character that came in the dreams, talking to Shamiko as she's running to school, is like, you can do your transformation, and that will actually, in your transformation, you can run faster, so you can make the school. And, you know, you think maybe just like acknowledge, blah, 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 whatever. She just lets go of the bread, and bread just floats there. He says a whole damn sentence out. It's like, oh. And like, it's subtle, you know, really isn't pointing it out too much. It's there so you can easily see it. It's not like, you know, they're in a wide shot, they're in a close-up with her face and the bread's just floating there. I thought that was really funny, for even just like a little subtle joke like that, poke at anime a bit for that dumb little bread thing they do. And yeah, this has a bunch of other great jokes as well. I really enjoyed this show. If you want to go check it out, go check it out. I thought it was very funny. And, well, I guess you can trust my comedy style a little bit more, how I like my comedy, if you check this out. And maybe you're like, oh, damn, all right. Noob got the good takes. There we go. Or maybe you're just like, yeah, that wasn't funny. Wasn't that good. And you can figure me out more. But, that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you liked and enjoyed. I guess also I did a collab with Doofy. I was in these two tier lists ranking openings as a hater. Wasn't particularly a hater for any of them, but yeah, I was getting a little out of pocket. It was a fun video. So go watch those if you are any bit interested in it. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.